gentlemen, the item for which I know you've all been waiting, lot 13, a gold chalice, chased and decorated with precious enamels, known as the Coptic cup. Its origins are obscure, but its use is conjectured to have been religious, probably connected with some early Oriental Christian sect. Now, we're very proud to be able to offer this priceless object for sale here this morning by the wish of Mrs. Eleanor Horder. As I'm sure you all know, the Coptic cup has tragic associations for Mrs. Horder. It was formerly in the possession of her brother, Mr. Titus P. Trant, who died the victim of a savage and unsolved murder. The cup then passed to her late husband, Mr. Brian Horder, who almost immediately suffered a similar fate. Well, naturally, these two tragedies produced a somewhat lurid and sensational interest in the world of American journalism. I'm sure that Mrs. Horder's decision to sell the cup here in London is a most sensible one. I think it right to assume that we English are less easily moved by rumors of a fanatical slayer pursuing each new owner in order to revenge its falling into materialistic hands, or of a curse.
Now,
but that I think is
paying now.
I can't very well.
I said to the realms of superstition.
Forgive me, Mr. Glass. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I realise this is somewhat irregular, but...
It's Mr. Blake, isn't it? Of Boothroyd and Blake.
Yes, on behalf of a client, I wish to nominate a bid for lot 13.
This is indeed irregular. I'm surprised you do, Mr. Blake. However, since you're so impatient, I was about to conclude my remarks and open the bidding at, shall we say, 5,000 guineas.
My client wishes to bid £100,000. He's quite determined to become the owner of this remarkable piece.
Yes, I see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am bid £100,000 for lot 13. Would someone care to make it guineas?
Go up and settle it now.
Come now, ladies and gentlemen. This is an exceptional opportunity to become the owner of a unique relic. Now, ladies and gentlemen.
Congratulations.
If I receive no further
It looks
bids,
as if that
you realize
pretty little
I have
piece
no
is finally
option.
yours.
Lot 13
Brandon Merton.
Who the hell are you?
Wouldn't it be just too funny if that loony, you know, the one who murdered Trant and Horder, wouldn't it be just a scream if he were in this auction room today? What did the press call him? Daniel Doom, wasn't it? Yeah, that's it. Daniel Doom. Seeing you, Brandon.
Mr. Merton has given his decision on this. No, you cannot speak with him. He's in conference. No, that's all.
Mr. Merton.
Think?
Dan,
Why?
I know, but I'm watching it.
Walton, we'll have it.
How much do you want the price to fall by?
How do I know how far the price is going to fall? I can't be 2 jumps ahead of the game.
No, sir.
Walton, I shall never teach you to become rich. It's the man who wants to be too clever who tries to be 2 jumps ahead.
I don't think I really care about being rich, sir.
Don't you, Walton?
No, sir.
If you didn't, you wouldn't be here.
You cannot deny, sir, there is pleasure in achievement.
I don't deny it. That's my dear. I want you to go to London for me.
Oh, Uncle, terrific! When?
Tonight.
Oh,
Maybe tomorrow morning. Didn't I tell you not to open my personal mail?
It is not always easy, sir, to know which is your personal mail and which is not unless I open it first.
A little basic psychology. On business matters, I'm usually addressed as Mr. Brandon Merton. On personal matters, which invariably means that someone is begging from me, I'm addressed as Brander Merton, Esquire.
If that is meant to be humorous, sir, I can't agree that it is.
A wit, young man, is like wine. It takes a palate to appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
God! We know, Petra, that your father has a guilt complex with regard to the native races. It goes back to the days when he was prepared to massacre the Red Indian natives on behalf of the great American Republic and his own bloodlust and glory. But I have no guilt complex with regard to any of the native races.
The African copper mine workers have been existing at starvation level for years.
You've authorized a 4% increment.
I have.
Hector, we don't deceive one another. You're not here because we have any love for one another. You're a failure in life. And people who are failures in life are either trustworthy because they're too frightened to be anything else, or they're untrustworthy because they want to prove themselves greater than they are. I thought you were in the first category. I'm sorry to see you in the second.
A little human understanding of the miseries of others might go a long way.
You don't become rich without an understanding of the miseries of other people. You don't make money out of money, but of other people's fear and greed.
Oh, Uncle, you are being unfair to Daddy.
I'm never unfair. I treat people as they really are. That way they might be able to do something with themselves.
And what am I?
A spoiled brat of a girl who might one day become a very wealthy young woman. And will then marry a worthless spendthrift, and who will spend the life.
Good afternoon, everyone. Afternoon tea's being served. Do I have to eat alone again, Brander?
I can't speak for the rest of my household. I can only speak for myself. You can take your afternoon tea alone.
Oh, I don't like your sort of hospitality, Brander.
Guests do not stay in my house because they're asked to. They stay because they wish to. If they don't like my hospitality, they go.
But your chef's good. I'll say that for you, Brander.
Let's get him out of here.
Let's go quietly,
Please, Harris.
shall we?
You know how I hate violence before tea.
Hector, the wages of the copper mine workers.
Why do you stay here?
For the reason I told Mr. Merton. There is pleasure in doing something for its own sake.
Yes, but for somebody like yourself, there must be better things.
It's a particularly well-paid job. Not the kind of experience you get anywhere.
Oh, but isn't life here dull for you? My uncle's obsessed with that darn cup of his. That's why he built this place. It's like an island fortress. We don't see anybody. We hardly ever move from it.
Then why do you stay?
My father, for one thing. And I have expensive tastes. And my uncle indulges them.
Well, I suppose that's two good reasons.
I can think of one other.
Oh, what's that?
Isn't it said a gentleman never tells?
Yes?
Well, a lady never tells also.
You know, you might be wrong when you say there's no love lost between us.
I'm a realist, Hector. I know why you stay here. I'm a rich man, and I can do most things with my money. There's one thing I can't do. Take it with me.
Don't you believe there can be a decent, simple human emotion?
If I believed in nothing, what would life be about?
Brenda, who is Norman Drage?
An art expert.
Heh, we're from the Paris Louvre.
Modern art. I'm thinking of starting a collection.
I don't believe a word you say.
Then you better start. It's one of the things I pay you for.
He claims to be a writer.
An art critic.
For whom, the New York Times?
Hector, I'm bored. I need a new interest in life.
Why should you be bored? You got a financial empire from Cuba to Japan. Why don't you try visiting your outposts?
I hate travel, and you know it.
Hey, you do, Brandy. I've never understood why. Brandy? What is it, Brandy? Victory! You got any smelling sauce?
Well, yes, here, I think. What,
In here.
yes, why? What is it, Uncle?
Here.
Oh, Uncle, what is it?
Nothing.
Here, smell.
Nothing. Obscenities. I'm a fastidious man. I hate all filth.
Well, why don't you hand it over to the police?
Because I'm old enough and rich enough to take care of myself.
Colonel, this is not the first threatening letter. I think something should be done.
Daddy, can't you get him to go to the police?
And admit he's been threatened? Well, he won't even talk about it to me.
I think that his life is in danger.
I believe it is.
He'll meet his death just like the other two. Whatever it was that hit Trant and Horder just came right out of the sky.
Are you trying to say it was supernatural? Because if you...
It amazes me continually that people can find the time to do nothing.
I know just how you feel, Uncle. I like being active.
You're after that trip to London, my girl.
Oh, yes, I admit it.
We weren't exactly doing nothing. We were discussing you, Brenda.
Why? Do you think I'm going to drop dead?
We were thinking that you might get killed.
Not by any of you. You can't have me killed until you know how I'm going to cut up.
Uncle, dear, it's not unnatural to be concerned with what's going to happen to your millions. It would be dishonest to pretend otherwise.
Oh, I like that. I do like that.
Walton, give me New York on the telephone. I want to speak to Williamson.
Yes, sir.
Uncle, when am I going to London?
First thing tomorrow morning.
Hooray! Yeah.
I want you to take a letter to my lawyers.
I'll be ready at 7.
I might come with you. A change of air for a day or two.
By all means, Drage, by all means.
I prefer not to have your company to London.
Young ladies should never travel about unaccompanied. And I am a gentleman above everything else.
Changing his will again.
Operator, can you get me New York?
No doubt you're gonna buy some pictures.
Well, as you know, Brander's been asking my advice on how to invest some of his wealth.
I have no doubt about that.
Might just pick up a little daub or two on his behalf.
Tell me the truth, Drage. What are you doing here? You're no art expert.
I know a Modigliani from a Picasso.
I'm gonna get the truth out of you, Drage.
I found out something of the truth about him. A crime reporter turned art expert. That's Norman Drage.
Well, I'll be doggone. Did you, by any chance, report the murders of the 2 previous owners of the Coptic Tip?
Yes, I reported them. And I'll tell you something else. Unknown murderer styled Daniel Doom is nothing but a journalist's fantasy. Can you believe that an anonymous letter writer murdered 2 millionaires in the security of their own homes without leaving any clue to his identity?
Then how do you account for it?
I don't. I just agree with the 12 million readers of the Sunday papers. Fate wreaked vengeance on those who worshiped the wealth it represented, and not the God in whose honor it was made.
Daddy, do you remember reading about a Catholic priest in London who was an expert on criminology? Do you remember his name?
Brown, I think.
Father Brown. Then Uncle Brander will see Father Brown.
Yeah, Branda won't see anybody.
Won't he? Leave him to me.
Oh, Father, did you know that whales are monogamous?
What, all of them?
Well, there must be deviates, I suppose, but he doesn't say so. That's an odd omission, isn't it? Unless, of course, the book was aimed at children. You know what quaint ideas people have about what the young should read. When they mate for life. Whales, of course, not children.
Really?
And die of grief.
Cause and effect?
Well, a separate characteristic, apparently. It's theologically unsound, of course, but I must say I find the fact that whales are capable of feeling vastly comforting.
How are you on chalices, Father?
Oh, I don't know in what way.
Provenance, date, place of origin, probable sect, likely ceremonial function.
Oh, that's rather more Father Malone's cup of tea.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was unintentional, I assure you. And not strictly speaking a pun.
Brush up on the subject, would you?
By all means, why?
We've had a request for assistance from Brander Merton.
Oh, yes?
The Brander Merton.
Which Brander Merton?
Really, Father, sometimes I think you do it on purpose.
Possibly. And what does Brander Merton want, whoever he may be?
Well, apparently he's the possessor of some sort of chalice known as the Coptic Cup. But here, see for yourself.
Great intrinsic historical value, origin obscure, religious use, perhaps in Oriental Christianity, or so.
Naturally, he looks to us. He asks for you, Father. He is an American gentleman. He's also one of the 12 richest men on earth.
Oh, the rich man in the kingdom of heaven.
I said, Father, that you would be with Mr. Merton for luncheon tomorrow.
In the United States?
Northumberland. He chooses to live over here in a remote spot.
And I'm to be there by luncheon tomorrow?
I'd be inclined to step down, Father.
As you wish.
And sit down, Father.
Oh, all right. Yes?
You're going... You're going to fly.
Oh. Excuse me, but I've been told to come here. I have to travel in Mr. Brander Merton's aeroplane. He's very kindly invited me.
Coincidence, Padre. I happen to be waiting with the self-same aircraft, too.
Oh, and you must be the pilot.
Nothing of the kind. I'm a sort of perennial house guest of Brander's, who's just experienced 2 wonderful days of freedom away from that cockeyed private Alcatraz of his.
I see. Well, it must be very gratifying to Mr. Merton to have a house guest who appreciates his hospitality so, Mr...
Drage, Father Brown. Norman W. Drage. And since the aircraft we're both waiting for happens to be a 2-seater, one of us is going to have to find an alternative means of transport.
Well, at the risk of seeming unadventurous, I must say that's a prospect I view with equanimity. I'm sure an express train... Oh, heavens. Oh, look what I've done now. Oh, dear, I pulled it right over its... I'm always doing things like that. You don't happen to have a screwdriver on you, do you, Mr...
Do I look the sort of person who would carry that kind of thing?
No, no. Of course you don't. Well, never mind. I've probably got one myself somewhere. Let's see now. Oh, now, how did you know who I was, Mr. Drage? I don't recall telling you my name.
Well, let's say I recognize you because I, too, am interested in criminology, or in crimes, anyway. And it's a very modest supposition, in view of your reputation, that strangers won't recognize you.
Yes, well, if my reputation were more godly, I'd be a far happier man. Dear, these things are sent to try us on. Oh, good heavens above. How does one accumulate odd socks, I wonder if... Oh. Of course, it's supposed to be very unlucky to change them once they're on, isn't it? Or when they're inside out, for that matter. Yeah. Not that I subscribe to superstitions, you understand, Mr. Drage. But when they're harmless, I see no reason to flout them. Maybe in my spot.
There's a couple of screws there, Father.
Huh? Oh, yes. Well, they should be sufficient. Mr. Drage, how is it that a man interested in crime happens to be one of Mr. Merton's house guests? Are you there professionally?
Crime's only a hobby with me now. By profession, I'm a critic. I'm trying to interest Mr. Merton in the higher things. Art, you know. Shall we say I'm hoping to convert him in one way? You, no doubt, are hoping to convert him in another.
Oh, no, you're quite wrong there. It's God who converts man.
Well, then God better have a good look at Brander's brother, Colonel Hector Merton, known in the trade as Old Hickory.
Not the Indian fighter?
None other.
Well, bless my soul.
Well, they're quite a pair. Brander's busy doing to the natives of Brazil what his brother did to the Sioux and the Apache. Massacre them.
Yes, well, God occasionally does need a little help from his priests. Oh, gently, please. Oh.
Goodness gracious, what has been going on in here?
Oh, let me introduce you. Father Brown, Miss Petra Merton, the warrior's daughter. A chip off the old Hickory block, if there ever was one.
I'm delighted to meet you, Miss Merton.
I'm so sorry I wasn't here to greet you, Father, but I was having a little carburation trouble. It just means that takeoff's going to be a little bit delayed, I'm afraid. But we don't want a forced landing halfway to nowhere now, do we?
What, you're the pilot?
Well, don't say you're anti-feminist.
Oh, on the contrary. Oh, no, we have quite a few saints in heaven of the feminine gender. Oh, no. I'm anti-flying.
Oh? Have you done much?
Oh, very little. Hardly any. For the record, none at all.
Oh, Father! There's a kind of poetry up there in the clouds. A blue infinity ahead of you, the wind singing in the clean, pure air, and the land like so much patchwork miles below.
Yes, of course, Miss Merton. It must be fascinating.
Well, I'm so pleased, Father, that you understand, because so few people do.
Your uncle indulges your love of flying?
Yes. But I rather think Uncle thought it would be good for him to be a sort of patron of modern science.
And living where he does, having an unpaid messenger service.
Well, if a rich man uses his money wisely, it benefits not only mankind, but God, too.
Drage, you'd better take the railroad. Uncle Brander's very anxious to meet Father Brown today.
Never fear, dear. I'll find my own way home. I'll tell you what, Petra, I'll carry your parcels for you. Save you cluttering up the plane.
Don't bother. I don't get much of a chance to go shopping, Father, but a couple of days in London and wow.
Yes, I understand. There, now. There's just a slight possibility that may hold. Here we are. Put all this rubbish away. Thank you.
Hey! Isn't it mad thing that we can't get airborne?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, still, I might as well use the time to tell you why I want your help.
Mr. Brandon Merton wrote a letter.
Yes, I persuaded him to, but our reasons are very different.
Oh.
You see, my uncle is the third millionaire in 5 years to have owned that Coptic cup. The other two, Titus Trant and Brian Horder, were both murdered by someone who calls himself Daniel Doom.
Yes, of course, I remember that.
Well, we feel sure that my uncle is being threatened by whoever is Daniel Doom.
Be he man or avenging angel.
Mr. Drage feels that Daniel Doom is some spirit, exacting revenge on materialists for owning a religious object.
And there are stranger things in heaven and earth.
Yet Mr. Merton wrote to Ryan to ask an expert for an historical assessment. You deceived the society. Oh. Blessed are the innocent, for theirs too shall be the kingdom of heaven.
Hello? Speaking. Oh, hooray, bless you. Hey, guess what? We can take off now.
I'm so glad.
Chocks away, Father.
Chocks away. It's still very bumpy. Oh, no wonder. My dear child, don't tempt Providence. Get back in at once. Good heaven.
Father!
Huh? Oh.
We've been on the ground for absolutely ages.
Well, I couldn't hear.
You had your eyes closed, too.
Well, they water very easily. Good heavens. It looks exactly like a cyclops.
Welcome, Father, to the cozy Merton homestead.
But there appears to be only one window.
There is only one window, and that's in Uncle Brander's room. But come on, Father, we better get going before they set the dogs on us.
That concrete looks most peculiar.
It is most peculiar. It's laid onto solid steel,
But how curious.
which can be electrified to 1,000 volts.
But they could kill a man.
Oh, Father, that's the idea.
Trance and Horder use every sort of security device known to man, but it didn't do them much good.
Drage, how did you get here?
Petra, dear, you're not the only one who can fly. Anyway, when it comes to Brander Merton's turn, Father Brown, you mark my words. Daniel Doom will strike again out of a clear blue sky.
Miss Petra, just you, Mr. Drage, and the Padre?
Yes, that's all.
Straight ahead. Single file. Don't hang about. Keep moving. Keep moving.
You there, move!
Come on, you only get me into trouble.
I'll take that. And that too.
Do as he
Hands
says.
on your head.
Yes.
He's green.
But there aren't any stairs.
No stairs, just the one lift shaft, so I wouldn't go getting any funny ideas, right? You sign in, Miss Petra?
Yes, I have done.
Your pass. Don't lose it, or you won't get out. All for the chief?
No, I'm going to my bedroom. Too much excitement for one day isn't good for my health.
You wait here. No intermediate stops.
That Mr. Drage tells me he's trying to interest your uncle in modern art.
Oh, that's his story. He simply arrived one day 6 months ago, and Uncle Brander announced that he'd be staying.
What, indefinitely?
It's not even as if he does anything. Daddy thinks he might be Uncle Brander's illegitimate son, but personally,
Yes.
Well, the way they carry on, I was going to say lovers. Do I shock you, Father?
Oh, my dear child, if I could be shocked, I should not be a priest.
Me? Your pass, Father. It's underneath your hat, don't you remember? Excuse me. There. You must find all this a bit of a joke.
Wait there, Mr.
Daddy?
Merton's busy.
Daddy, wait. No, Daddy, it's all right. It's Father Brown. Father Brown. Father Colonel.
Hector Merton, good of you to come.
Delighted to meet you, Colonel. I've never shaken hands before with a man who fought at the Battle of Little Bighorn.
Oh, it's just a kid, then, drummer boy.
Or an honorary member of a Red Indian tribe.
Yeah, blood brother, as a matter of fact. This Apache chief initiated me way back in '94, just after I'd saved his son.
Daddy,
I
Father
was,
Brown has only just arrived.
I want to hear, please.
Well, Father, ever since I was a little girl, I've been taught Indian tricks, told Indian stories. It's been like one long, glorious movie show.
Not quite, my dear. You see, Father Brown, in real life, unlike the electric Kinnemer, the redskin didn't always lose.
Oh, I should have thought poor people, they wouldn't have stood a chance against modern firearms.
Oh, in the long run, of course they didn't. But many times out on the frontier, they'd outwit us pale faces with simple, natural skill.
Is that so?
For example, on one occasion, I saw an Indian brave stand up under 100 guns, armed with nothing but a little scalping knife, and contrive to kill a white man atop of the fort.
Good heavens. How did he do that?
With a knife. Through it.
Oh, he's a cold.
Quick as a flash. Before any man had time to squeeze the trigger. Simple enough. No one expected it at the time, though. I've never forgotten that. Simple demonstration of natural military skill.
John.
Strategy of
Father
surprise.
Brown,
you
my name is
understand,
John
Father?
Wilton, Mr. Merton's private secretary. I trust you had a pleasant journey. Mr. Merton apologizes for keeping you. He'll be free to see you very shortly.
John, I had the most horrible fright on the flight down. Something's wrong with my fuel supply.
Yeah, come along, my dear. Get you out of that Farron one Richthofen outfit. Can't have you sitting down and lunching with Brand dressed like that.
But, Daddy, John must be dying to hear about it.
Later. Come on, my dear. You see, Father Brown, my daughter warns me I'm in danger of becoming a military boy.
No,
There are times I could counter with her being an aviation boy. Come on, my dear.
Oh, well, au revoir, Father John.
We'd ask you to join us in a cocktail, Father, but Branda seems to feel you're his guest. Let's not disillusion him, huh? Yeah. Your buttons up, Harris. Yeah.
Quite a castle.
Wealth gives influence which few czars or kings ever had.
Yes, interesting.
It's not against your principles to visit a commercial emperor?
It's my duty to visit all miserable men in captivity, Mr.
Wilton.
Mr. Wilton.
He'll be free to see you in exactly 10 minutes.
I shall examine the cup with the greatest of care.
Oh, he doesn't normally trust anyone enough to actually let them see the
I
cup.
sincerely hope he trusts me. Otherwise, I'll have made a fruitless journey, and at some cost to my nervous system.
Well, you may be the exception. For the rest of us, he keeps it locked away in there. He takes it out and worships it at certain times when we all have to be out of the way.
Yes, well, if a man has the ability to worship, there is the possibility he may be directed to higher things.
I would not wish to worship as he does, or to live as he does in perpetual fear. This place is a trap I don't believe the devil himself could get into, or at any rate out of. If anything did happen, the second I heard a shot or the sound of a struggle, I'd throw this switch here and set off the alarm.
And the outer wall would be immediately electrified.
How did you know about that?
Miss Merton told me.
Of course. And not that it could ever come to that. That is the only way in. There's only one window, And the room is at the top of the tower.
May I go in?
By all means.
Oh, dear.
Go right through.
I suppose you'll have to throw that switch.
What do you mean? There was no shot? No.
Depends what you mean by a shot, Mr. Wilton. A silent shot.
Come on, move it in! Come on now, come on. You know, I'm really beginning to believe there is a curse on that thing. Sorry about that. Brenda wasn't all sweetness and light. Far from it. In fact, there were times when... Yeah, but... Blood and water, Father. Blood and water.
Colonel, what kind of an arrow would you say this is?
Red Indian war arrow. Barbed, you see. Never pull it out. Not even for a flesh wound. Fearsome business. You have to push it clean through. Your only chance. You cut off the feathers. Damn me if it isn't mine.
Are you sure?
Positive. Brought it from America. Trophies. Bow. Quiver full of arrows. Tomahawk and so forth. As I was saying, Father, the bow and one of the arrows went missing a day or two ago. Didn't they, Madonna?
Yes. Why?
Arrows turned up again.
Oh, no.
Here's a fact.
Did you do anything about losing them, Colonel?
Well, I asked around. Where the deuce you get that, Harris?
One of the guards found it in the courtyard.
Out in old winters, that bowstring could be ruined.
Well, it doesn't appear to be, does it?
So much for your avenging spirit from heaven, Mr. Drage. Oh, Daddy, we'll have to send for the police now.
I already have done, but they won't be here till after dark.
Well, perhaps it's just as well. There are a number of anomalies we should clear up amongst ourselves. That is, if you agree, of course.
Well, I don't see very well feel.
We asked you
have
down
nothing
here.
to hide.
Mr. Wilton, I take it that Mr. Brander made arrangements as to the disposition of his empire in the event of anything happening to him?
Continually.
Well, I've been in and out of his will twice, to my certain knowledge. What the present score is, I couldn't even guess.
Oh, that's rather unfortunate. It would be quite enlightening to know. As it is, I don't see how we can find
It won't be too difficult. Mr. Blake, that's Mr. Merton's lawyer, arrived here some 10 minutes ago. That is just before you discovered the body.
Well, that's a strange coincidence.
It's not so strange, really, Father. One of the reasons I flew down to London was that Uncle Brander wanted me to take a letter to Mr. Blake.
And did you deliver it?
Well, no, because I wanted to do some shopping in London. And Mr. Drage offered to drop it round for me.
Did you type that letter, Mr. Wilton?
No. He wrote it out by hand and sealed it himself. When I was going through the mail that evening, I gave it to the colonel here from Miss Petra. She was leaving very early the following morning, and I had no chance to give it to her personally.
In other words, each one of you four had the chance to see the contents of that letter. And if it contained instructions to alter the will, then...
But then what, Father Brown?
Then I'm very sorry to have to say it, Colonel. But it provides each and every one of you with a very strong motive for murder.
My name is Blake.
Mr. Blake, how do you do, Father Brown?
Father Brown, yes. How do you do? Shouldn't one cover it?
Alas, no, I'm afraid. Not until the police arrive.
I suppose you know best. It seems wrong.
I suppose you must deal with death all the time, Mr. Blake.
In prospect and retrospect only.
Yes, in that respect, I suppose we might be called birds of a feather.
I don't know that I should tell you this before the reading of the will, but...
Yes?
Well, in view of your profession and reputation, it's a very simple document, really. Just one or two nominal bequests to staff, a not-so-nominal year's salary to Wilton, the whole estate to the Colonel for his lifetime, thereafter to his daughter in perpetuity. In layman's language, that's the sum of it. So if money's a motive, I would say that gives you 2.5 suspects, eh?
No legacy for Mr. Norman Drage?
Nothing at all.
When was this will drawn up?
Oh, about 6 or 7 years ago. He was always threatening to change it. We were forever being summoned down here at a moment's notice. My journey today is typical. As soon as anybody came into, or more often than not fell out of favor, he would threaten to make a new will. The thing is, he never completed any of these. Of course, no one was to know that.
Equally so, they weren't to know that the original will was still valid.
Quite so.
So the only person who benefited would be your good self.
What?
Well, presumably you or your firm, of course, charged him for these alterations?
Oh, yes. We charged him for all his vagaries, yes. By the same token, we had a sizable interest in keeping him alive.
Yes. What about the guards, Mr.
Oh, out of the question, I'd say. In the first place, they're all ex-police or ex-servicemen. In the second place, the Colonel vetted them personally. And in the third place, my firm vetted their references. So, if you're finished with me, I think I'm a busy man.
Yes, that's all. Thank you, Mr. Blake.
Oh, don't thank me. I shall charge the estate for this visit in the normal way.
Naturally. Mr. Wilton, did you know that you'd been left a year's salary?
No. And if I had, it's hardly an inducement to murder. Though I say it myself, I'm extremely competent and foresee no difficulty in finding another position. Father, I want to tell you the truth.
Yes?
What no one here knows is that my full name is John Wilton Horder.
Horder? Surely Mr. Brian Horder?
Exactly, my father. He once owned that damn cup in there. So did my uncle, Titus P. Trant. Both of them murdered by whoever called himself Daniel Doom.
Yes, I know.
Well, I dropped the Horder part of my name and applied for this post some 18 months ago when I found out who had acquired the cup, because I reasoned that where the cup was, the criminal must sooner or later be. I didn't know who he was. I could only wait for him. But I meant to serve Brandon Merton faithfully.
What made you change your mind?
What?
You said meant just now. You said you meant to serve him faithfully.
Well, it's no longer possible. Now he's dead.
I see. There was nothing in the will for Mr. Norman Drage.
Mr. Merton made ample provision for him while he was alive. Irregular but substantial payments.
Irregular but substantial. It's interesting. Oh, this must be almost entirely original.
It's the first typewriter I ever owned. I've used it ever since.
Well, I wouldn't suspect you of sentiment, Mr. Drage.
You'd be right. It just stands up to a pounding better than any modern machine.
May I?
Yes, go ahead.
I would find the lack of daylight a little trying.
That is compensation.
Yes, of course. Like starting an art collection for the late Mr. Merton.
He could well afford anything I took off him.
Oh, yes. These 3 words were typed on your machine.
I never wrote this.
No. What did you write?
You're not going to catch me out like that. I'm not going to incriminate myself.
I strongly recommend you to, Mr. Drage. Come along now. Show me what you did write.
I can't remember, not exactly.
Take your time, please. Take your time.
finest enemy a man could have, the Red Indian. Yeah, not many of them left now.
Tell me, Colonel, how far could a Red Indian shoot an arrow, eh?
Hard to tell, hard to tell. But I've known some that seem to go as far as any bullet and hit the mark to amazement.
Is that so?
Yeah. As I was saying, ain't many real Red Indians left in the USA now. Still less over here.
No, but if there had been.
Oh, if by some chance there had been an old Indian marksman with my old bow hidden in them trees hundreds of yards beyond Brander's out of war.
Hundreds of yards?
Well, I wouldn't put it past the noble savage to be able to put an arrow clean through that window and into Brander himself. Nope. Oh. Well, in the old days, I've seen things done quite as wonderful as that.
I bet you've done things like that yourself, eh?
Oh, that's ancient history.
Colonel, I suppose there's nothing in your past record to make people talk unpleasantly about this affair?
Well, what's your drift?
Well, the murder weapon being yours, and with your great knowledge of the methods of the Red
What?
Indian.
What the hell? Are you sitting there to tell me I might have murdered my own brother? Are you trying to brand me with a mark of Cain?
I have formed certain conclusions, Colonel, but I think it best we don't talk about them till we've all had a chance to meet together.
Well, of course I'm biased. But I really do believe that flying's going to catch on, become as much a craze as motoring is. Even out here, Father, the aeroplanes are as thick as flies sometimes.
Is that so? So a strange aeroplane passing over this house wouldn't attract much attention.
None at all these days.
I'm afraid to me, one aeroplane looks very much like another.
No, Father, they're as different as people.
But to people who know about these things, your aeroplane would be instantly identifiable, hmm?
Yes. It's a very distinctive model in any case.
Yes, I see. But supposing it were a different, what's the word? A different pattern of aeroplane, then you wouldn't be recognized.
No, I suppose not.
In which case, of course, you could fly unnoticed, very close to your uncle's window, close enough for practical purposes.
My God. What are you suggesting?
No, my dear, no, Miss Petra. I'm collecting suggestions, that's all. Oh, please be seated, gentlemen. I think I must tell you what I found out.
Where is Norman
I
Drake?
asked Mr. Drake to remain in his room. I decided he'd serve no useful purpose by being here.
That's pretty damn high-handed.
I must say I agree.
I can assure you, gentlemen, he would merely confuse the issue.
In plain words, he's the murderer.
No, Colonel. Mr. Drake is almost certainly a criminal, but he's not our murderer. So for the time being, I want him out of the way.
Out of the way of what?
The truth, Miss Petra.
You know the truth?
I rather think so.
Where the devil do you get it?
From you, Colonel. I made my first guess when you told me that story about the Indian who threw his knife and killed a man on top of a fort.
Oh, I don't get it.
Nor I.
And you've missed the whole point of the story.
Father Brown, you asked me to explain if I could besiege this
No,
tower
Miss
in
Petra,
a borrowed
excuse me.
flying
You told
machine.
me how you could have done so. That's an entirely different matter.
When you spoke to me, you seemed to think I'd likely kill my own brother.
I thought it most unlikely, Colonel. Forgive me if I've done wrong. I saw no other way of testing the truth. You two are the principal beneficiaries of the will. I had to accuse you in order to prove your innocence.
Have you done so?
I rather think so. By the agitation they showed when they were accused, Mr. Blake.
I wish you stop talking in riddles. Who haven't you ruled out? That's what I want to know.
Words, Daniel Doom, murderer, we all assumed were typed out in a single strip to fit along the shaft of the arrow. All that puzzled me at first was that the word murderer was spelt with a small m. Closer inspection revealed that the words Daniel Doom and the word murderer were typed out on two separate strips of paper.
What's that got to do with
Yes,
it?
what of
Oh,
it?
don't you see? They could have been taken from a larger document. A letter, for example. I think I've been able to reconstruct that letter.
Might I have a word with you, Father?
Yes, of course, my son. Please excuse us.
Father.
Yes, yes, I know. This is the reason. I have some very serious news. Mr. Wilton, whose real name is John Wilton Horder, has succeeded in identifying Daniel Doom.
Well, who is he? Well, out with it,
He's
man.
taken a terrible responsibility, and I'm afraid it lays an equally terrible responsibility on us. He's tracked down the criminal, the man who murdered both his father and his uncle. He's taken the law into his own hands. He's killed Daniel Doom.
Well, if that's the case, he's done a good day's work.
You never said a true word, Colonel.
Well, forgetting for a moment I'm a lawyer, I must say I heartily concur.
I'm afraid I can't agree with you, gentlemen. I suppose we all talk a lot of romantic nonsense about lynching and lawlessness, but I have a suspicion that if we lose our laws and our liberties, we shall regret it.
I've no time for this sentimental whitewashing of murderous blackguards.
I doubt very much whether Daniel Doom was a murderous blackguard, Colonel. In any case, the objection to Wilton's way of doing it is that we shall not hear Doom's side of the case.
To hell with that. If Wilton cloaked that killer, then he did a good day's work, and there's an end to it.
Am I to take it, then, that you all condone this private act of justice?
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yes,
In that case, it will not hurt John Wilton if I tell you a little more about it. He killed Daniel Doom in rather a curious manner with an arrow.
What do you mean? Uncle Brando was killed with the arrow.
Yes, Miss Petra, the same arrow at the same time. In your father's story, an Indian used a knife as an arrow. In this case, an arrow was used as a knife. It was not shot from a bow, but plunged through the throat of Brandon Merton like a poignard.
Oh, Father, what are you saying?
By John Wilton.
Oh, what are you saying?
I don't believe it.
Brandon Merton was Daniel Doom.
Impossible.
Drage, the former crime reporter, discovered it in the course of his journalistic investigations and blackmailed him in these terms. Wilton opened the letter and kept it. Drage came here later to present his demands in person, obviously with some success. Ultimately, it was 3 words from this letter that Wilton cut out and fixed to his avenging arrow.
Daniel, he must have been crazy.
Yes, he was, Miss Petra. Crazy for that cup he used to worship every day like an idol. Crazy enough to have killed 2 men to get it.
John, can I go to John, please?
This puts an entirely different complexion on the whole thing.
Say it makes a difference, a hell of a difference. Brando was a thing like the president or the Pope of Rome. How did let Wilton get away with this?
No, Daddy, please!
Petra!
We must have the newspapers.
No! There shall be no difference. I gave you a chance of pitying Daniel Doom when you all thought him to be a common criminal. You were all for private vengeance then, of butchering him like a wild beast without a hearing. You all said he'd only got his deserts. By all that's holy, what's good enough for Daniel Doom is good enough for Brandon Merton. In the name of Almighty God, let there be equal lawlessness or equal law. In any case, it's too late now. John Wilton said I was free to lay his confession before you. And now it seems there's nothing more man can do to him. He's beyond pursuit.